Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we'd have a little catch up. We're going to talk about beauty, we're going to talk about where my philosophies are at this current stage in my life. I am 40 this year. Apologies, I have the AC on in the background because it is hot in the sun in LA today. But yeah, I want to talk about, I think especially as I have moved more and more into the style space, and I feel like to me beauty has always been an extension of style. Like it's just another way to express yourself. It's a creative medium. When I look at my own makeup bag now, I'm able to see, when I look in my own makeup bag, a genuine cross-section of the products that showcase where my taste is at, where my style is at. And the best way to explain this, I think, is when you are a professional makeup artist, you have your own, the things you are known for. But I think there's also things that you find yourself, naturally a client is paying you to perform a job, and while you're still going to put your spin on it, have your take on it, there's still things you're having to do as part of a brief. And I think I'm just at this lovely point now in my life where I am creating solely for me and it feels so good. And it kind of got me thinking about kind of where this channel started, where it's going, and kind of generally speaking, when I think about my relationship to makeup, the makeup that I was most known for as a working professional makeup artist was very much kind of editorial, natural makeup with kind of like editorial little tweaks. If I was using color, it was in a playful way, but still with like a skin first approach. Saying that, I think I find myself when it comes to like the way I see makeup now for myself is like, it's not, I don't usually like build my outfits around my makeup. Like the makeup is kind of something that I still think of as like self-care. It's something I really enjoy. But the makeup that really lights me up is what I consider boring makeup. And I kind of want to reclaim that word, like boring makeup isn't a bad thing. Like boring makeup is so beautiful to me, and it is the makeup I wear most days. And I think most people can relate to having one makeup bag where you maybe have the odd like wild card item where you change things up every now and then, or you might add a lip, add like an eyeliner or something interesting just to kind of like spice things up when you want to, or to use makeup as an accessory in relation to how you get dressed. But for the most part, most of us have one makeup bag with the same products that we love, and that's where I'm at in my life. And I felt like today I just wanted to talk about letting go of the need to have to be able to do all the things, which while I never stood for that as a makeup artist anyway, like I said, there's still certain things you have to do as part of a brief for a client. And I was able to push myself editorially, conceptually, because it was part of my job. Whereas now I think, like I said, I'm building this relationship with beauty on my own terms that's very much centered around just enjoying the makeup that makes me feel good. And sometimes that is like a red shimmery eyeliner, sometimes it is pops of color, but for the most part it is what I consider boring makeup. And I think there's a temptation to feel like you need to apologize for the things that most people consider boring, but the makeup I love on other people, the makeup I appreciate, is makeup that everyday women wear. It is makeup that makes you feel good. And like I said, it's not this idea of constant newness. I think sometimes we can all get, there's like this itch that, again, with the internet, like will make us feel like we need the next new highlighter, the next new trending color. And there's nothing wrong with experimenting. Again, I think the only way you find what feels like you is by experimentation. And so of course, this isn't me saying I'm never going to buy another makeup product again, because that just wouldn't be true. But I do want to make sure I'm showcasing things that not only I think you should know about, but the things that I am using on myself, things that I recommend to my friends day in, day out. So with that being said, let's talk about boring makeup. And again, when I say the word boring, I want you to know that I'm saying it with love. Like I love what most people consider boring makeup. Some people might put that into the category of minimal. Some people put that into the category of neutrals. I think it's just makeup that is an extension of you. So I have all my makeup is currently in this vanity. I still have some makeup stored, but I have downsized considerably, and even that has been so exciting, like letting go of products that I'm like, I don't need that anymore. I don't need that because I don't use it on myself. That doesn't work for my skin type. It might have been something I had to use for a client because it worked for their skin type, but now it is just about me and my face, and that's really exciting. So I have this gorgeous vanity case from Etoile, I think that's how you say it. I have loved something about a new makeup bag for the new year that feels very exciting. And you know me, I love organization. This is a little sneak peek inside. Cannot recommend this vanity enough. It is absolutely beautiful. And again, you can wipe this clean, so it's very easy to keep clean. But I feel like I have enough of an edit in here, and I want to be clear, this is still a lot of makeup. I know a lot of people are like, whoa, Harry, that's my makeup bag is so much smaller than that. But what I mean when I talk about my love of like boring makeup, it's this idea that I can just work out of here, and it might be variations of the same type of makeup. So rather than feeling like, oh, I have to be in keeping with what's trending, what's fashionable, which as a makeup artist to an extent, you have, especially if you work in fashion, right, you have to understand trends, you have to understand the nuance of what is driving color palettes, like what is happening in that world. And I always, like I said, did my best to keep my own point of view forefront and center. And I was very lucky to work with clients who appreciated that. But I feel like there's just such freedom now in being like, yeah, I love my boring makeup. So I just want to say that like, I will still experiment, but for the most part, like I want to reclaim boring makeup as something that isn't something to apologize for. And I still find it incredibly empowering. So in the nature of that and the spirit of this, I'm gonna show you kind of like one of my go-to looks I've been wearing at the moment. And my hope is that whether I'm talking about style, whether I'm talking about makeup, whether I'm talking about beauty, it's from the lens of I just choose things that make me feel good. It's that simple. And a lot of the times those things are what a lot of people would consider boring, and I'm okay with that. And this is just your reminder that you get to do the same. So I do need to put some, I've got some moisturizer on, but I'm gonna put on some SPF. The one I have in my makeup bag is the Beauty Pie Traceless Mineral SPF 30. So we're gonna put a bit of this on. And this one is lovely under makeup. Again, I'm not really a fan of the ones that feel quite mattifying. I actually prefer my SPF to be glowy. So that's probably the longest winded intro ever. But if you're still here, thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. The base I've been loving, and I have a couple in here. So again, I want to be showing you the things that I kind of pick up depending on my mood. I have been really loving the Hourglass brushes again, especially the fact they have the double-ended ones. So this one, I don't think it has a name on it, but it's the one that looks like this. I find myself using this brush every day. Tower 28 Sunny Days. This is their broad spectrum SPF 30 tinted sunscreen, and I'm wearing the shade 15 Melrose. This is so beautiful. It just makes my skin look how I want it to look, basically. A little bit glowy. Again, I would say this is like light to medium coverage. It feels like a little bit more than a tinted moisturizer, but it still looks like skin. And for me, that's always important when I am choosing a base. I want to see freckles. I want my moles to come through. So I'm just going to apply this all over. And again, I find this is a very good one for getting rid of redness. It kind of counteracts, I don't get lots of redness, but I usually get it around my nose and on my cheeks. And this just does a really nice job of balancing everything. And I like moisture. I like a lot of moisture in my bases. So again, if you have oily skin, this might not be for you. But this is one in my rotation, in my current rotation, I've been really, really loving. So my approach to makeup is very similar to my approach to style. I like a real mix of high-low. And this product I was gifted recently, and I have to say I've been loving it. It's the ColourPop Shadow Sticks. And this is, oh, the shade's rubbed off, so I'm gonna have to put it in the description box, but it's just a really good taupe. I find myself using interchangeably this and the Lisa Eldridge, I think it's called the Liquid Eye Silk in Phoebe. These two colors are kind of like my go-to just to kind of clean my eye up. I would say this one is a little bit warmer. So I'm just gonna start with it on, and you get quite a bit of playtime with this. I'm gonna do it under my eyes and kind of like up to my socket bone. And then I'm taking the number 3 Hourglass brush, and I'm just gonna buff that in, and it is so easy to blend this product. And it's like a really nice kind of taupey beige, kind of like a sort of latte color. Make Beauty, I feel like since they reformulated a lot of their products, and I think they're under like new management, I've been loving what they've been coming out with. And the Continuum Waterproof Gel Liner in the shade Nebula is incredible in the waterline. I also like that it has this little like tiny brush. I think this is really, really cute, and it has the sharpener on the bottom. I never seem to need to sharpen these though when it comes to doing my waterline. But it's a really nice rich brown. Okay, so that just gives a little bit more definition. Okay, I just had to get this out of my handbag because I was using it yesterday. The lid fell off, so I've had to replace it with a different lid, but it is MAC Costa Rica. Costa Rica, I think it was Costa Rica. If you know, you know. Just one of the best warm eye crayons. Like whenever I wear this, I feel like my eyes look so much more green. For me, when it comes to using this pencil, I love kind of like dragging it along the eye line, so I tend to use it kind of sideways, and I go all along the lash line, and then as I get towards the outer corner I start like thickening up. So it's not necessarily a flick, but there's like more product on the outer corner. And again, with a kohl you're gonna have time to play with it, like you don't have to worry about it setting the way you do a long wear eye pencil. I'm gonna go in the inside waterline, and I'm gonna start to take that a little bit under the bottom lash line as well. And then the brush I'm going to use is the Hourglass 13, and we're just going to buff and smudge. Again, nothing groundbreaking. I think there's something so refreshing about makeup not having to be groundbreaking, and that's again the same approach I have to style. Like everyone's going to have their own little signatures, things that feel like them, but ultimately it's just about enjoying the pieces, the things that make you feel good. So I've got a little bit of a flick again. If you wanted to make that less flicky, you could just kind of like pat your finger over the edge. I generally like that shape, so I'm not mad about it. But again, it's so simple. It's so simple, and you could just do this on top. You don't have to do it on the bottom. I just find when I've had my hair down at the minute, I really love the look of a more like, I call it like everyday smoky. It's kind of like a little bit grungy. Again, you can kind of take your finger and make this less prominent if you want it less smudgy, but I do find with the Costa Rica pencil, it is just so good for blendability. Now, mascara of choice at the moment, I still love my Thrive Cosmetics mascara, but where have I put it? But I have to say I have been really enjoying the Merit. I think it's called the Clean Lash Mascara. I just find this is so easy to get off in the evening, and it doesn't go like as bitty, if that makes sense. I don't think it's actually meant to be a tubing mascara. So if you like Glossier Lash Slick and Thrive Cosmetics, this is like somewhere in the middle, and I just find it really good as like an everyday mascara. This never comes down like under my lower lashes, even if I put it on my bottom lashes. And then I'm going to take that under on the bottom lashes as well. Okay, so eyes pretty much done. You know I love to use my concealer as like a quick clean up. It's still the Dior Skin Correct Forever Concealer in shade 1.5N that I just keep coming back to. Hate the packaging, it is always so messy, but maybe they've reformulated it since I bought this one, I don't know. But I just find you need so little of this, a little goes a long way. Again, I'm gonna turn around and use this end. This is such a good brush, this Hourglass brush, for kind of like a one-stop shop for like your foundation, powder, blush, bronze. It kind of does it all. There is one product that I have, this is my last one now of like the backup items I had of this. It's right, again, I don't think they make it anymore. It was by Avon, and it was called Colors of Love, the Sun-Kissed Cushion Bronzer, and this is in Morning Sunflower. Who remembers me using this? Like I said, this is my last one. So it's a cushion bronzer. I still think this is one of the best cushion bronzers full stop ever made. So going back in with that same Hourglass brush, and it's just so good. It's like airy and light, it's dewy, it's glowy. Again, even if I'm not wearing like a tinted moisturizer and I just put a little bit of concealer on with moisturizer, this is just so so blooming good. It's very easy to use, it's very foolproof. And again, I know you're thinking, Harry, why are you telling this if we can't get it? I'm saying it, I'm putting it back into the universe to be like, first of all, do you guys know of anything that is similar to this? Please let me know if anyone knows like a product that exists currently, that is in stock, that is still made, that is like this, because I will buy 10 and have them as backup. And also I would just love Avon to make it again. It was so good. Okay, blush. Beverly Hills Merit. I was very late to the party with this. If anyone's interested, I do have like a full Merit makeup review that I actually did ages ago. I went out and bought like a ton of the products before they ever sent anything to me, where you can see me apply everything, give like my first impressions. Beverly Hills, such a nice, quick, easy blush. And I don't always wear blush, but if I am gonna pop something on, it's usually this. Sometimes I kind of use this on my lips as well. Again, if I'm in a rush. Still using the same brush. So far we've only used like 3 brushes, and I'm just gonna buff the edges. Now, I love a glowy highlighter, but if I've used this Avon bronze and this Merit Beauty blush, I don't feel like I need highlighter. You totally could add it, but for me, again, the base I've put underneath, the SPF, they've all got enough glow happening in them that I just don't think my skin needs it. I'm gonna be the first to admit, when this product first ever came out, I was like, doesn't work on me. Works on anyone with lovely big full brows, but not me. I don't know if they changed the formula or if I just got lazy enough to be like, yeah, I just want one product for my brows. It's Glossier Boy Brow, one of the OGs. This is the shade, what is it called? Brown. So what I do is I do kind of like just take the excess off the bottom part on a tissue. And then I'm really into my brows looking very imperfect at the minute. So what I do is I just run it through my brow backwards, like against the hair, like against the grain, if you like. And if any little gloopy bits kind of get in the way, I just move them. And again, I make sure on the inner portion, I'm using a slightly lighter touch, but it has to look really messy before it looks good. And I'm just gonna keep putting as much of the product like into the areas where I have a lot less brow. I think the key as well is letting brow products, with the exception of those like lamination ones that dry really quickly, anything that's like a pomade like this, you just wanna give it like 10-20 seconds to start to set a little bit, just so that it kind of stays in place. I always used to think this product was way too wet for me, but I love how this looks. I love how this looks in its one product. Like I said, I don't know if they did reformulate. If anyone knows, I'm very out the loop. Please let me know. But it just has become one of the brow products in my heavy rotation that just I like because it's one product and I don't have to do anything extra. I don't have to like take a pencil. You totally could. You totally could. But I'm in my lazy era. I'm in my era of I don't want to do all the things. Again, some days I wear lip liner, some days I don't. Most of the time it is one of either the Violette Bisou Balms, or I came back to this Chanel lipstick the other day. I think it's 813 beige something, and I forgot how much I loved it. And I'm just gonna, again, with lipstick I tend to not put it on all the way along my lips. I kind of like to put it on and then we smudge. For me, being willing to let go of like the novelty side of having to, you know, feel like there has to be so much newness all the time, and just enjoying the products that you enjoy. And for me, the makeup looks I enjoy most are makeup looks that make me feel like myself, that make me feel really good, and are not necessarily the newest, hottest thing or something really out there looks wise that everyone else might be talking about. So a little bit of a waffly video, not gonna lie, but I just wanted to say hello. I also am doing another bag drop over on Substack. I have, well, it'll be open to the public on the 12th, but it goes live early to paid subscribers on my Substack on the 11th of February, which will be my 3rd vintage bag drop, which I'm so excited about. The last 2 sold out in like the first 2 days. It was crazy. So that is happening over on Substack. So I hope you like the look and let me know your thoughts. And if anybody does know something similar to this bronzing cushion, I need to know. So I hope that was helpful. It was nice to catch up. I hope you're all doing really, really well, and I will see you soon.